Yes, people, welcome back to the Football Psych YouTube channel, where in today's video, I'm going to be giving my 23-man England squad for the Euros this summer, alongside what I feel our starting 11 should be going into our first game. But before we get into that, first of all, I'm not even going to apologise for this now. It's just kind of become the norm, hasn't it? It's a lockdown haircut. What can you do? Make sure you do give the video a like, subscribe if you're new around here and you enjoy football content. You're in the right place, and also click the notification bell so you don't miss any more uploads. It would be rude not to, after all. But now that is done, let's talk football. So yes, moving straight into the 23-man squad that I think should go to the Euros this summer. Now, important to note that I've outlined a 4-3-3 formation as a bit of like a base, really. I think Gareth might opt for the 3-5-2, Gareth, like I know him. However, this is easier to maybe see just who fits where. It breaks down defence, midfield and attack. And goalkeeper, of course, pretty simple. So, the goalkeeping option, I think the starting position is definitely up for debate. But in terms of the three that go, I feel like it's pretty simple, to be honest. Pickford has been the number one for a few years now, but I feel like he's lost that spot. But we'll get onto that in just a moment. Nick Pope's been sensational. And I think Dean Henderson, as a young keeper going as well, just makes sense for experience, tournament experience. Will he play? I very much doubt it unless something catastrophic happens. So I think they are very standard for three goalkeepers that are going to travel to the tournament this summer. Moving into, where should we go? Let's go left back first. The number 3 shirt for England. I think Luke Shaw has been sensational for Man United. I don't think we can ignore that. And Ben Chilwell as well has been really solid. Not played too much under Tuchel at the moment. But I think in form right now, Luke Shaw has to start. And I think they are the 2 left backs that will travel. You could make a case for Saka in there, and it does give a little bit more versatility. He can play in a variety of positions. I think this tournament's just a little bit too soon for him, though. It's his breakout season in the Premier League. So I feel them two, not experienced as such. Luke Shaw's been in the England fold for a little while, but has had a lot of injuries. But I think they're the 2 that will go. Moving into the left centre-back position, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Harry Maguire, I've gone for. I think he'll start, so he's definitely going to be on that plane, or it might be in this country, mightn't it? So, in his car. And my kind of wild card, really, is Fikayo Tomori, who's obviously at AC Milan at the moment, playing really well, had a really good performance the other night against Man United. I think he provides a little bit of a different kind of centre-back role. He's got pace on his side. I think he could be versatile again in a back 3 if Gareth Southgate opted to go for that. So they're the 2 in left centre back. Not that it matters, like I mentioned. John Stones has to go. He has to start, in my opinion. He's been phenomenal this season for Man City. Yes, alongside Ruben Diaz and actually maybe not a stronger defence in England. I think we're looking pretty good there, to be honest. Maguire's not ideal, but I feel like people like Tyrone Mings, they're good players. I don't watch him on a weekly basis, to be honest. I just feel like we've got other players that can do a similar job. He's very no-nonsense. John Stones bringing the ball out gives you that little bit of flair. Now, Kyle Walker as well. I've put him in that centre-back kind of option because I don't think he's going to play for England actually anymore. But I take him as, again, he offers that option as the right centre-back, and I think that's really important. He gives you that flexibility, even in a game, that he can drop into that role. I don't think he's got a future at right-back for England. I think there's far better options in that position, as I'll touch on in just a second. So, yeah, Stones and Walker would be going as my options as the centre-backs alongside Harry Maguire and Fikayo Tomori. Now, controversial one, 3 right-backs I would take. Now, let me try and explain that. Trent is probably your go-to right back. However, on current form, you could argue that he wouldn't even go to the tournament. But because his delivery is that good and he offers that set-piece specialist, I think he's definitely going to go. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is the best defender out of the three right-backs you can see in the picture by a mile. 1v1 defence is incredible. However, he doesn't offer a lot going forward. And then Reece James, I think, is the most balanced of the three. He's decent going forward, but also really solid defensively. Therefore, he's probably the more complete right back. And again, him and Trent could, if we needed them to, step into midfield to cover an injury or to try something different tactically. And their delivery is very dangerous. So I would take all three right backs. I'm sure you're going to slam me in the comments for that one. Right. Defensive midfield. Declan Rice, easy. I think he's the best defensive midfielder we've got for England currently. Alongside Eric Dyer, who will probably go, who I don't think is a great player, but he could drop into centre-back again. And that's what you have to think about in a tournament. Who can drop in where when you need them? And not every game is going to be the same, Our team that we might play against France might be very different to a lesser nation. So we've got to think about that. Then Jordan Henderson in the right centre mid spot. And people probably think, why is he not in DM? Well, he's not a DM, really. He is an 8. Box to box, the engine of the team. And he's not a cam. And I think he offers that old school number 8 role where he does a bit of everything. He is the engine room, like I said. So I think he's a must as well. Liverpool have been stuttering, but when fully fit, he's still really important. And he is the captain, after all, when Harry Kane is not in the squad. Then you've got left centre mid, almost a number 10 role, really, in this 4-3-3. I've got for Mason Mount and Phil Foden. I guess the debate has been recently, Mason Mount, Phil Foden, Grealish and Maddison are all kind of 10s, although Grealish does play off the left. All right. Maddison just misses out for me. I think, again, he offers a lot from set pieces and he's a very talented young lad. But I think the others have been more in form and are probably just more worthy of being in that squad. I don't really have to go into it. They've both been phenomenal for Chelsea and Man City, respectively. Really, really good performances. Both really young, hungry, aggressive off the ball. I think they'd give us a lot in that kind of left centre mid /10 role. Right, moving on to left wing. Marcus Rashford, not been one of his best seasons, but still very solid. United front line's been a little bit hit and miss, but I think he's very decent for England. Very good when he pulls on that England jersey. And then I know that, I don't know where I was going with that. Sterling would also be my option in the left wing role. I guess it's important to see that I've kind of picked 2 for every position other than right back and goalkeeper. The goalkeeper ones, you always take 3. And it's kind of, normally the other one's a striker, but I feel like this front line is very fluid and we can push Rashford through the middle if we want. We can push Sancho through the middle. We can have a false 9 in Foden or Mount. So we've got a lot of options there. So Rashford and Sterling, I think that's a little bit of a no-brainer too. Sterling's not very good for England, a bit greedy, but he kind of has to be in the squad. Right wing, Jadon Sancho, having an incredible season at Dortmund, playing with Haaland in attack. And think about it, Haaland and Kane can all be very similar players sometimes. Their shot power, their kind of hunger in front of goal, their eye for a chance. So that could be a really good link-up potentially this summer. Grealish, I've put him in there just to kind of make the numbers even, but he does play off the left. I don't really see him as a centre mid. I think he likes operating in that left channel where he's a bit more free, where he can get on the ball and dip in between lines and receive the ball behind lines. So he's another attacking option, but again, could step into midfield if we needed him to, or play in a number 10 if we played a 4-2-3-1 potentially. Harry Kane, he's the captain, the talisman. Yes, he should have passed it, but we're not going to get on to 2018. It's a new tournament, new hope. He has to be on that team sheet. He's just the most prolific striker in Europe at the moment. He's incredible. His assist, all-round play is really strong. And he could probably operate in a little bit of a higher area than he would for Tottenham currently with Mourinho. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to go as well. I feel like he just offers that something different, a bit old school, you know. You can play the ball up to him like Kane, and he can receive it. He's strong in the air. He scores a lot of headed goals. I think being a threat from set pieces is important in a tournament. So I think he would be, you know, my man waiting in the wings if something happened to Harry Kane. So that is my 23-man squad. I will join you in just a second with my starting 11 for the first game of the tournament. So, if we did opt for the 4-3-3, which I think is a viable option, there hasn't been much international football recently. I know there's some internationals coming up, so it's kind of hard to gauge at the moment. But if we were to go with a 4-3-3, that would be my starting 11. Nick Pope in goal. Don't think Pickford's done enough. This season he's been poor, a lot of individual errors, and just being good on the ball isn't a reason you should start as a goalkeeper. I think Nick Pope all round is a better goalkeeper. Right back is Reece James. Like I mentioned, Trent will probably start. However, James is the more all-rounded right back in my opinion, so he gets the number 2 shirt for me. On the opposite flank would be Luke Shaw. Left back he's not a wing back, that is his position. I think he's been better than Chilwell this season. He's played more football than Chilwell this season. So if he can stay fit, I think he's going to be a real threat. I think he's really good defensively. Not too bad going forward. You know, likes to kind of go beyond Rashford every now and then, which you think about that Man United link up as well down that left-hand side. Could be really good. And next to Maguire as well, which is important. Having that Man United connection in the back line can't be a bad thing going into a tournament when they're teammates. So the 2 centre-backs, Harry Maguire and John Stones, they kind of pick themselves, to be honest. I went for a couple of almost strange options in the squad. So I feel like they're your starters. Harry Maguire almost shouldn't be, but he's not too bad for England. You know, he's been good in competitions before. And John Stones, bringing the ball out, playing football, feeding Rice in the channels could be really dangerous for England, and we are a team that want to get on the ball, so I think he's really important to how we play. Declan Rice is a DM. I'd say he's only a really out-and-out DM, to be honest. He's the only kind of number 6 we've got, so he has to start for me. I think he's been phenomenal for West Ham, and in that England team I think he could be really important for us. Mount and Henderson either side. Mount offering that little bit more of an attacking kind of presence, going beyond, you know, going missing, you know, dropping in between lines, and Henderson being a bit more kind of structured in the way he plays. Jadon Sancho on the right, just think he offers that little bit of difference, you know, a bit of flair, a bit of magic, which what we need. Rashford for his pace and his athleticism, and I think he's just an all-round threat, to be honest. He's good for England, like I said, and Harry Kane has to be the man through the middle. So that would be my team for the 4-3-3 if we were to play it. However, like I mentioned, Southgate has opted for a 3-5-2, especially in tournaments. So let's take a look at who would start in that formation. So here we are, the 3-5-2. Nick Pope again in goal. That's not going to change in my eyes. And then we bring Kyle Walker in as the right-sided centre-back. Now, I think he's been almost a revelation in this position before. You know, he's obviously traditionally a right back. I feel like he's not a centre-back that can play in a back 2. But in that back 3, you know, as the kind of sweeper sometimes, and his pace is kind of what makes him. It defines Kyle Walker. I don't think he's that great anywhere else. Like I said, we've got better right back and right wing back options in that squad. So he would come in at right centre back for me. John Stones in the middle, because he likes to come out and he's got the cover of Maguire and Walker either side. I think that makes sense as him being the focal point in that back line. And Harry Maguire still operating in that left-sided channel as well. Declan Rice keeps his space at DM. Doesn't need to change in my opinion. Still good to have a naturally defensive player in midfield, no matter what formation you're playing. Reece James and Ben Chilwell, the 2 Chelsea boys, would get my wing-back spots. Again, although Trent is better going forward, wing-back you still need to defend. I know you're more attacking-minded. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I feel like wing-back just doesn't suit him. He's defensively solid, and he's a right-back, and he's not a wing-back. Chilwell, because he's starting to get a bit of game time in this wing-back role under Tuchel, I feel like this could be a really viable option for England as well. I think he's got good delivery on him. He's got really good athleticism. He gets up and down, got a lot of energy. So I feel like they would be two very solid choices. Luke Shaw, I think is probably a bit harsh on him, but I just feel like Chilwell offers more in that wing-back role. And then you've got Mount and Henderson again, either side of Rice. I don't know why that needs to change. You could make a case for a few other midfielders, but I feel like that's a very solid option. You've got a good balance in that midfield, bit of dynamism, but solidity as well. And then I'd pair Rashford and Harry Kane up front together. I feel like they complement each other's game really well. What the other one doesn't have, the other one makes up for. You've got pace, power, athleticism, hunger in front of goal. And I feel like Rashford isn't good as a number 9, but when he's playing up with someone, I feel like he's very dangerous. So let me know in the comments below. That would be, first of all, my 23-man squad. And then my 2 formations that we're probably looking at playing in the tournament. I'm not sure which one Southgate will opt for, but I've given him 2 options, so I'll let him figure out for himself. But that will be it. Let me know, are there any horrific choices in there? Tomori's a bit of a controversial one, I know. But let me know what you guys think. Who would go for you? Who's going to this tournament? Who's starting for you? Give me your starting lineups. I'd really like to see your guys' thoughts on it. But that is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you did like it, like and all that jazz. And I hope you learned something too. And I will see you in the next one.
So much to the poltergeist, trying to hold on to love, but it's frosted.